The average gladiator did not survive to retirement. Sooner or later, whether an untried hero or a battle-scarred champion, he fell to the bloody sands of the arena and was dragged away through the funeral goddess's gate. Although the odds of any given match ending in death were relatively low, during the first century, perhaps 1 in 5, those odds accumulated since some men fought more than 100 times during their careers. But a few survived. Some gladiators were allowed to retire after completing the term, often 3 or 5 years, stipulated by their sentence or contract. A very skilled fighter might be released in the arena by the sponsor of the games and publicly awarded a rudis, the wooden sword that symbolized his freedom. Once, after watching an epic struggle between 2 well-matched gladiators, the Emperor Titus freed both combatants. Regardless of whether they won or lost, gladiators were paid every time they fought. They received additional prizes when they were victorious. The Emperor Claudius liked to toss gold coins to men who had fought well, and after they were granted the rudis, they might be richly rewarded. A gladiator named Spiculus received a mansion and estate from Nero. Few gladiators, however, could support themselves for the rest of their lives on their winnings. Many had families. Claudius freed one gladiator after receiving a petition from his 4 sons. And some ex-gladiators lived on for many decades after retirement. The tombstone of a Paegnarius, mock fighter, named Secundus, records that he died at the age of 99. The career options of retired gladiators were limited by their low social status. Whether freeborn, former slaves, or prisoners of war, gladiators were infames, disgraced. This meant that, like executioners, undertakers, and actors, they were excluded from the full benefits of Roman citizenship, unable to hold office, appear in court, or even, in the case of former slaves, make their own wills. Some gladiators continued to fight after their release, especially if they were famous enough to be invited back to the arena for exhibition matches. A prominent rudiarius, freed gladiator, would receive top billing before the games and be handsomely compensated after. Tiberius paid some stars 100,000 sestertii for a single appearance. Alternatively, an ex-gladiator could become a referee. Each gladiatorial match was supervised by a head referee, the summa rudis, and his assistant, the secunda rudis. These men intervened with shouts and wooden switches when a fighter broke the rules or was incapacitated. The tombstone of a gladiator named Diodorus laments that he was killed after a referee allowed his defeated opponent to get back on his feet. Some referees had long careers. The tombstone of a summa rudis who lived to 60 was found at Caesarea Maritima. Retired gladiators might also train new fighters. Each gladiator was assigned to an armature, a specialized set of arms and armor, on the basis of his size, speed, and proficiency with weapons. A small, quick man, for example, might be taught the trident and net of the retiarius, while a larger but less nimble candidate learned to maneuver in the heavy armor and slitted helmet of the secutor. Since men with experience of the arena made the best trainers, a veteran fighter was a welcome addition to any gladiatorial school. Other gladiators embarked on very different careers. More on them after a brief word about this video's sponsor. CuriosityStream offers documentary films and series on everything from the Big Bang to AI. If you love to learn, I guarantee you'll enjoy exploring the thousands of hours of quality educational content available here. Fans of Roman history have many options. I especially enjoyed the new season of the Ancient Engineering series, which has an interesting episode on the construction of the Colosseum. Whatever fascinates you, you'll find it on CuriosityStream, where new content appears every week. You can watch on your TV, computer, or mobile device, and with services starting at less than $5 a month, CuriosityStream has a plan for every budget. Go to curiositystream.com/Toldenstone or scan the QR code for unlimited access to the world's top documentaries. Use the promo code Toldenstone to save 25% off an annual subscription. Click the link in the description or go to curiositystream.com/Toldenstone and start watching today. Returning to our topic. Outside the ambit of the arena, many gladiators became bodyguards. During the turbulent last years of the Republic, the rival politicians Clodius and Milo recruited whole troops of gladiators. A band of gladiators shadowed Nero and his drinking companions whenever they went carousing in dive bars and brothels. Aristocratic ladies sometimes hired former gladiators to protect them on journeys. And, in late antiquity, wealthy landowners might recruit what amounted to private armies, captained by gladiators, to patrol their estates. Because of their low status, gladiators were normally excluded from service in the legions. Amid the civil wars of the late Republic, however, a council briefly formed Julius Caesar's gladiators into a cavalry unit. During the chaotic year of the Four Emperors, Otho enrolled 2,000 gladiators as legionaries. A century later, Marcus Aurelius formed a unit of gladiators that was optimistically named the Obsequentes, obedient ones. Although gladiators were regarded as unreliable soldiers, Caligula made Thracian gladiators captains of his personal bodyguard. Not all former gladiators dedicated their lives to violence. A few became farmers. The Roman poet Horace, retiring to his estate, compared himself to a gladiator who had given up his weapons and moved to the countryside. Other gladiators may have become black-cloaked priests of the war goddess Bellona, or dueled in the sacred grove of Aricia for the crown of the priest-king of Nemi. Gladiators were barred from holding elected office, but in the eastern provinces, where athletes had long been honored, a few former gladiators achieved respectability. One, later a referee, became an honorary citizen of no fewer than 7 cities. Even more dramatically, the Emperor Vitellius made a freedman whom he had rescued from a gladiatorial school a member of the equestrian order. According to the unreliable Historia Augusta, Marcus Aurelius once reprimanded a former gladiator for trying to become a Roman official, and was told that many other ex-gladiators already held positions in the government. Although this is almost certainly satirical, there is no reason to doubt that, as Juvenal claimed, the sons of gladiators could be found in the equestrian seats of Rome's theaters. The social and legal restrictions that hindered former gladiators did not apply to their children. The Historia Augusta's suggestion that Emperor Macrinus was a former gladiator is less believable. Gladiators unburdened by political ambition might exploit their sex appeal. Rumor alleged that the wives of Roman senators took gladiators as lovers. Empress Messalina reportedly had an affair with an ex-gladiator named Sabinus, and it was whispered that the real father of Commodus, son of Marcus Aurelius, was a gladiator. According to an alternate version, Empress Faustina confessed her attraction to Marcus, who, after consulting with some soothsayers, had the gladiator killed so that Faustina could bathe in his blood. While there is no reason to believe that any of this happened, at least a few former gladiators must have established liaisons with Roman ladies. For more than half a millennium, gladiators were at the center of Roman society. They were applauded by slaves and emperors. They were figured in mosaics, modeled by figurines, stamped on lamps. Their blood was said to cure impotence, and the very sand on which they fought was gathered for spells. But the gladiators themselves remain elusive. Perhaps, to those who watched them, they always were marionettes who played out the fantasies of a civilization before vanishing, upon death or retirement, behind the anonymity of the stage. My new book, Insane Emperors, Sunken Cities, and Earthquake Machines, is now available as a paperback, ebook, and audiobook. You can buy your copy through Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or your local bookstore. For more Told in Stone content, check out my channels, Told in Stone Footnotes, and Scenic Routes to the Past, which are linked in the description. Please consider joining other viewers in supporting Told in Stone on Patreon. Thanks for watching.